The doctor of thugonomics is in Word Life. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now running wild with the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world, WellsMania Podcast. I am your host, the Kyle Wells, aka WellsMania, aka the most underrated. Brand new WellsMania merch just dropped earlier this week on brainbustertees.com. That's right. The shirt pays homage to the black and white. You get nothing, John Cena. It simply says in all caps, block white letters on a black shirt, the most underrated. And then on the back, it has the WellsMania Podcast logo on it. I'm very hyped for this shirt. It's a really easy shirt, but it gets the message across. And every single time that you guys buy one, you are providing for my wife and I and our family, which is greatly appreciated. So go to brainbustertees.com and get the brand new WellsMania Podcast, the most underrated t-shirt. There's also tank tops, long sleeve shirts, crew sweatshirts, hoodies, because I don't know where you're at in the world running wild with WellsMania. It could still be cold where you are. Finally, it's starting to heat up here in Indiana, but brand new WellsMania Podcast merch available at brainbustertees.com. And be sure to follow me all over everywhere on all the social medias. TikTok at WellsMania. We're on the road to 10K. We're getting there one talk at a time. Twitter at WellsMania, Facebook at WellsMania, Instagram at WellsMania, and wherever it is in the world that you are listening and running wild to WellsMania Podcast. Thank you so much. Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watching on YouTube. You can see that I'm wearing the Chain Gang Word Life John Cena Basic Thugonomics jersey. And something that this is episode 178, by the way. And I'm not solo. I am not solo on this episode, although last week's episode I was solo and I got a lot of great feedback. People needed a break from Stone Pain. People needed a break from Peyton. Trust me, I do as well. He's still on vacation. I don't know if he's ever coming back, honestly, but that's okay because we've got two special guests that will be joining me momentarily. I'll get those guys on here in just a few. They are backstage right now, patiently waiting for me to wrap up all my cheap plugs and shout outs, because I love giving shout outs to people at the beginning of every episode of WellsMania Podcast. This episode 178 of WellsMania Podcast. And I want to give a shout out to Glitch Artworks on Instagram. What's up, Glitch? Glitch is over in the UK. He's across the pond. I don't even know what time it is right now across the pond. And honestly, by the time he listens to this episode, I'll probably be asleep. That's how that time zone and time change works. But shout out to Glitch. Be sure to follow him on Instagram. He is a very talented artist. And how I got his attention was Karrion Kross on Karrion Kross's Instagram tagged Glitch Artworks with a Z. And I was like, damn, that is really cool artwork. Justice for Kross, because Karrion Kross was not in the last qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. He will not be in the Money in the Bank ladder match this Saturday. So the artwork is running wild right now on Glitch Artworks with a Z on Instagram. And this man is so cool that he followed me back, and then he sent me voice messages saying how much he appreciated me shouting him out on my TikTok and sharing it on my social medias. So, you know, that's the cool thing about you helping me helping you, is we're all in this together. And it doesn't cost anything to be kind. It doesn't cost anything to help each other grow in this crazy world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. So be sure to follow Glitch Artworks with a Z. He is across the pond. And yes, Glitch, I'm going to have you on a future episode of WellsMania Podcast. Get you on here, get people familiar with your face and your voice. You got an awesome English accent, which I'm not going to imitate. I've learned my lesson not to do that. But shout out to Glitch Artworks. Also, Signal 10 Wrestling Ultimate Rumble in Brazil, Indiana on June 28th. I will be wrestling as Mega Mondo on this show. I will be a participant in the Battle Royal, and I cannot wait because I love Battle Royals. I know not everybody on the indies likes them, but I do. I actually prefer them. So if you ever need a body to fill a spot in a Battle Royal in a promotion, I will come in and I will do the job. So Signal 10 Wrestling down in Brazil, Indiana, June 28th. I will be there wrestling at the Clay County Fairgrounds, and the doors open at 5:30 p.m. The show starts at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are online. You can go to Signal 10's website. That's www.signal10wrestling.com, or you can get on their Instagram and Facebook page and find out all the details and information there. Tickets are $15, general admission, and the card is subject to change. We've got, Jake Ullman, Sam Knight, he'll be there. Mortimer Blankenship will be there. Chet Ripley will be there, and a ton of other local independent wrestlers. So support local independent wrestling. 20-man Rumble match featuring Mega Mondo. That is on June 28th in Brazil, Indiana at the Clay County Fairgrounds. So shout out to Signal 10 Wrestling. And my last shout out goes to the Bearded Wrestler on TikTok. Be sure to follow the Bearded Wrestler and tell him WellsMania sent you, because he gave me a shout out for promoting Prime and Alani. That's my shoot job, by the way. I'm a sales rep. Number one in the company, by the way. That's right, Logan Paul. WellsMania is number one in the company in sales. Just saying, bro. So just know that you've got a local independent wrestler and the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world working for your company, busting my ass day in and day out in the great state of Indiana. And I'm ranked number one in the nation, in the entire company, every region, every state. Your boy WellsMania is ranked number one. So shout out to the Bearded Wrestler. Be sure to follow him on TikTok. All right, these guys have waited long enough. They have been listening to me ramble on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, rejoining and reunited, and it feels so good. Fellas, welcome back to WellsMania Podcast. We've got the WWE Human Encyclopedia, Jared Giles, and the 5-foot giant, Chris Engel. Fellas, brothers, how the hell are you guys?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Busy. I've been busy. Chris, everybody's been wanting to know
I have not been busy.
I was going to say, how's your road to recovery going? Because every episode, people always ask, where's the 5-foot giant? How's the 5-foot giant doing? When are we going to see him next? And the time is
Here I
now.
am. The recovery's going well. I think we're about 6 weeks in. I'm two cast in. I go Monday to get my walking cast, so I'll be upright starting Monday, walking around. Then we're probably another 3 or 4 weeks out, and I get to start rehab.
Hell yeah, brother! I'm really glad that you are on the upswing. You're a Whiteland warrior. I knew that you had that strength in you. You've got that
dog
warrior.
in me.
You got that dog. You've got that dog in you, man. You're a Whiteland warrior, just like your boy WellsMania. So is Jared. Jared's a Whiteland warrior as well.
That's right.
Three Whiteland warriors running wild on the pod. Jared, how have you been, brother?
I've been doing good. Chris, glad to hear you're still on the road to recovery. Everything's progressing, I guess, on time.
Yep, we're on schedule.
It's good.
Hell yeah, Chris.
And you just never know when that return's going to happen either.
Yeah. Sooner rather than later. And you know what they say, man? The comeback is always stronger than the setback.
I mean, when you beat those 20 guys outside Squared Circle Expo on one leg to keep the title, I mean,
right?
What happens when you're on 2 legs? Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you should definitely see the other guys. They're in rough shape. I don't think those dudes are ever going to come back.
Probably
that's
not.
For sure. But no, I'm glad to have you guys here. As you can tell, the world's greatest. Yeah, I'm not even going to call him that anymore. How can you be the world's greatest co-host if you don't even show up to co-host the pod? I mean, he's been MIA now for 2 weeks in a row because he decided to go on a little 2-week vacation down to Disney World, running wild throughout the Magic Kingdom. So when Peyton comes back, if he ever comes back, because I don't know.
I heard he was on the Roman Reigns schedule personally, but
is that what it is?
True or not?
Yeah, I heard that too.
Well,
I heard he's going Roman Reigns schedule. He's only going to come for the big shows.
It sure as hell is feeling like that. So I guess we won't see him again until SummerSlam, which is fine. That's personally fine. I told Chris this earlier. I've enjoyed this break away from Peyton, and I'm sure he's enjoyed this break away from me. So a little bit of me goes a long way. So I get it. I totally get that. But the same could be said about Peyton as well. So, but I did hear from him earlier. He did sound like he was kind of maybe coming back to Indiana. I don't know. But he did give me his Money in the Bank predictions. And when we get there on this episode, because this is a fully loaded episode of WellsMania Podcast. And even though I ran wild and was solo last episode, I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if Chris and Jared want to run wild with me and break down Worlds Collide, Money in the Bank, talking about R-Truth. Jared's crush, Mariah May, is in WWE. I mean, we've got a lot to cover. But before we get to any of that, by the way, can you guys hear when you're backstage? Can you hear what I'm doing?
Yeah, I heard your entire 6-minute spiel to start the show.
Yep. Good promo.
Okay. I honestly, I did not know if you guys... I didn't know if you could hear it or not. And I'm like, I should probably stop talking, and get them on, or they're going to be like, dude, TikTok, bro. We got dinner coming up. But yes, this right here, we are going to do a taste test review. And everybody, even though we're not physically in person, everybody's got one. The brand new Collector Series limited edition Prime Hydration bottle. You have an opportunity to win $1 million. So be sure you scan the QR code on the bottle. There are codes under the caps. You possibly could be winning $1 million. And Jared and Chris,
the cap too?
There's a code under the cap. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was this gimmick here, but I guess it's the one under the cap. That's good.
Yeah. And I am disqualified from playing in this game because obviously I work for the company. So if either one of you win $1 million, don't forget about your boy WellsMania, okay?
I'm not going to tell anybody, but there will be signs.
Chris will own every single championship belt that's ever been made.
Probably pretty close.
And fellas, I love you guys so much that I've been sitting on this since Monday, which was only a couple days ago. But I have been building and selling displays into all of my stores so far halfway through the week. I told Jared this off the air. I've touched probably over 1,000 of these bottles, making sure that you, the consumer, have the product. So I believe in the product. I love the product. And yes, Chris and Jared, I am number one in the company in sales out of everybody in the company. There's like over 200 plus salespeople. Your boy WellsMania is number one. So just saying.
That's crazy. I've never heard that before. That's wild.
Yeah, man. We get rankings off of our sales, and the rankings come out every week. And I've been top 10, man. I've been all the way up to 2. And then finally, I got the number 1 spot. And I'm trying to hold on to it as long as I can. But it's you, the consumers, that help my numbers. So if you're in the greater Indianapolis area, go buy Prime and Alani because it benefits your boy, WellsMania.
Well, right. I'm assuming because of the 500, how hot it's been. And then we got this Pacers NBA Finals run.
You're damn right.
A lot of folks are going to need some Prime hydration to stay, above above water, if you will. And then the next day at work, get that Alani Energy as a pick-me-up. So
Gotta love that cheap plug.
Jared's got a good sales pitch too. Hell, man, we might be bringing you on. But Jared brings up a great point. I talked about it on the last episode of WellsMania Podcast. I predicted successfully the 2025 NBA Finals, our Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Real quick, fellas, Pacers going to win their first NBA title?
Pacers in 6.
There it is.
That's Oklahoma, good team. But
not bad.
But I'm gonna always go for the home team. So Pacers in 6.
Do you guys have you seen the corgi on TikTok that picks in corgi? I trust. She had us winning the Eastern Conference in 6. She's got us winning this in 6.
Wow.
And she's like, honestly, like lifetime, like 90% accuracy.
Damn. Yeah. So that's nice. That's nice to know that the corgi has picked the Pacers to win. Jared's not wrong though. The Thunder are the best team. They had the best record in the NBA. They've got the MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's so wild, man. You got 2 small market teams, and the rest of everybody outside of Indiana and Oklahoma are probably going to be introduced to all of these players.
No, the NBA hates this finals matchup.
Which they shouldn't. They shouldn't hate it because it's going to be so good to have 2 small market teams with actually true fan bases.
Yeah, but you're not thinking from a business standpoint. Nobody on the coast is going to watch this finals. I bet this is one of the lowest rated finals that we have.
You know who's going to have a great time watching this NBA finals? Paul George.
Us.
Paul George. And that's about the only thing I'm going to say about Paul George for political reasons.
Yeah,
he wants to come back to the Pacers.
I bet he does.
Probably right now, so he can get a championship ring. Hasn't worked for him anywhere else he's gone. So, loyalty, PG, loyalty. You don't have it. You never had it. You never will have it. But you know who does? Tyrese Halliburton, baby. He loves being an Indiana Pacer. And fellas,
I hope Miles Turner does.
Well, Turner's been here his whole career too. So I mean,
yeah, but he's up at the end of the season.
Yeah. I think he'll stay. Especially if the Pacers win a title. I think he'll stay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fellas, the NBA Finals kicks off tomorrow night, Game 1 in OKC. And then eventually Game 3 will be coming back to Indiana. And you think WWE ticket prices are out of control?
Oh, these things are ridiculous.
Hell, have you seen these prices on the finals?
Yeah.
Good Lord. I'll be watching in the confines of my home, or maybe go out to like anywhere but B-dubs.
Well, did you see where McAfee was trying to go to the last Eastern Conference game in New York, and he was looking at tickets live on the show, and they were up to $70,000 for courtside.
Damn. He can afford it though.
Yeah, well, then he got told by the guys that run Madison Square Garden that he wasn't allowed to sit courtside.
Wow. Soft. Yeah. Just like John Cougar Mellencamp. Soft.
Oh, yeah. What a piece of work that is.
Dude, earlier, I forget what store I was in, but I heard Jack and Diane, and I started booing. Like, I just started, boo! The song sucks. Like, John Cougar Mellencamp, man, read the fucking room, bro. You're at an NBA basketball game with one of the most intense rivalries in NBA history and a shot to go to the NBA Finals, something the Pacers haven't done in 25 years, and you're over here getting your panties in a wad because we are booing the opponents and the opposing fans? Like, have you ever been to a sporting event, Cougs?
Well, that's what happens when you shove a microphone in McAfee's face. Dude, he's gonna cut a promo.
That promo that he cut was top tier. I
Oh, it
love
was awesome.
I love Pat McAfee. As a matter of fact,
You
Chris,
do now.
the
True.
beginning of this episode and the beginning of last episode, I used this is Peyton Manning and you're watching WellsMania. You're damn right. Nailed
Killed
it. When I released that last episode, I got blown up. People were like, where the fuck did you meet Pat McAfee? Or holy shit, you met Pat McAfee? I'm like, yeah, man, I met Pat McAfee at Colts training camp. I believe that was 2016. And they're like, but you're a Titans fan. Why'd you go to the Colts training camp? And I was like, I got autographs for my old man. You know, I got him as Christmas presents. And I knew Pat was a wrestling fan. So what did the kids say? Shoot your shot. I did. And Pat gave me that delicious little audio clip that will now run wild on WellsMania Podcast for the end of time. But yeah, fellas, I'm excited for the NBA Finals. Pacers in 6. It's going down because the Pacers, after all, are in their prime. And without further ado, let's crack this open. Give it a little smell test here. It's got a strong, fruity smell to it. Cheers, fellas. Cheers to you guys. Ooh, that's yummy.
Tastes better than it smells.
That's got a
is that banana?
It's supposed to be kiwi, like a kiwi like a kiwi mango type flavor. Your guys' faces are telling a story here. What are your guys' thoughts? You can be honest.
Little kick there at the end, a little tartness.
Yeah, the end of it almost tastes like an IPA. She's a little hoppy.
I like it. I think it tastes sweet. I definitely got that tartness to it. Yeah, collector's series running wild in a store near you. Curate your legacy for a chance to win $1 million. Be sure to scan the QR code and play the game. Okay, Chris, have you ever heard my Rob Van Dam story about his entrance song?
Yeah, you've told me. I've heard it aloud.
Well, for those watching or listening that have no idea, so one of a kind is what they're saying there at the beginning of Rob Van Dam's entrance theme. But me around Jared, I always used to yell, "Play the game!" Stupid, but that's how my mind works sometimes. Fellas, we had some pretty big news drop a few days ago that really rocked the pro wrestling world. And I'm going to read the tweet that we all read from Ron Killings, a.k.a. R-Truth. He put this out. I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you for all the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you. Was not expecting to see R-Truth being released or his contract not being renewed by the WWE. What were your guys' first initial thoughts on this?
I thought it was a rib. Knowing him, I thought that's not real. He's just messing with everybody.
Yeah, it felt like an April Fool's joke in June, but it was June 1st.
Which would have been on par for him.
So June Fool's Day. Got y'all.
Yeah.
I was expecting that follow-up, but we never got it. And then the internet just did its thing, and I'm like, whoa, this is real. Even friend of the WellsMania podcast, Sean Ross Sapp, was saying, no, his account wasn't hacked. It's not a prank. This is legit. WWE is not renewing his contract. So when it expires, Truth is gone from WWE. Jared, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, kind of at first, the same thing. He was like, "Oh, he's gonna say hey, April Fool's Day. It's June 1st." Some good twittering on a Sunday. But then shortly after, I didn't see the original tweet. I actually caught the follow up. He wasn't hacked. This is real. And then I saw the quote tweet from Sean Rossap, timelines, algorithms. You know how that all works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So wild. I saw the reaction before I actually saw the original tweet. Gotcha. So then I was kind of like, I was sort of shocked, but as I've thought about it more, and we'll kind of go, I think, more into it, or you want to, like, that's business, baby.
Yeah. I read a thing today where they said his name was actually on the list earlier in the year, went to be on for that first big release of the year they normally do. But Cena's in the know more than most, and he said, "Hey, no, not yet. I want to wrestle him one more time." So Cena actually bought him a little more time.
That's what John Cena does, man. Kind of reminds me of WrestleMania 28 when Brodus Clay was going to get scratched from WrestleMania, and Cena was like, "I got to go take a dump." And people are looking for Cena, and he's in the bathroom. So they're like, "All right, Funkasaurus, get out there. Somebody call my mama." We wouldn't have got that if it wasn't for John Cena taking a dump.
Did we need it, though?
Of course we did. Hell yeah, we did. Chris, come on now. I'm a big Funkasaurus fan, if you didn't know.
I'm not surprised.
I was actually bummed. Jared saw me be very disappointed when he did not make his appearance at Fan Access, probably because he got told, "Hey, you're going to be on the show today. Get to the stadium, start rehearsing."
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't get my picture with the Funkasaurus at Fan Access. But yeah, John Cena's the GOAT. Then, now, forever. And I'm really glad, and I try to look at the positive in everything. I'm really glad that R-Truth was able to be Ron Cena and be able to wrestle his childhood hero for the last time on the Ron Cena Farewell Tour, which, by the way, I missed out on getting that shirt, fellas. I did not get it when I should have, and then WWE pulled it because they didn't want people buying it and wearing it. I get it. Jared said it. It's a business. It's just like a sports team. Whenever it comes to that time in your favorite player's career, either they have a choice. We're going to trade you, or we're going to cut you, or you can retire. So, we all three of us know how the NBA, the NFL, MLB, we all know how the major sports organizations work. I feel like a lot of wrestling fans don't understand that concept or can't apply it to pro wrestling.
Yeah, they
took it
business.
Yeah, they did take it personal. And it's sad, man, because R-Truth, locker room guy, probably one of the most loved wrestlers. You talk about a wrestler that doesn't have a lot of haters. I think R-Truth's name is right there at the top of that list. There aren't many wrestlers that can say that, because how many people have you heard bash R-Truth? I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him, ever. But yeah, but this is not the end. I think who was talking? Who did I see? Was it Sheamus? I think Sheamus was talking.
Sheamus was on McAfee's show today talking about R-Truth.
Yeah, Sheamus was on McAfee's show, and Sheamus said that, the door is still going to be open for Truth. Guys get released and then they come back years later. Perfect example, Carlito, who also his contract will not be renewed as well. But Carlito got released a long time ago, and then he came back. So never say never in the WWE.
This isn't the first time Truth's been released from the WWE either. But I think they'll bring him back on a Legends deal at some point, and he'll make for a fun surprise Rumble entrance.
Oh, absolutely. Next year in Saudi Arabia.
I don't think he's making that trip.
Too soon. But yeah, we love R-Truth. Have you guys met R-Truth before?
I did at WrestleMania in Atlanta. Atlanta, I'm pretty sure.
I have not. I didn't get to. I haven't had that
But
privilege.
that's one thing I did want to mention. Ron's gonna make a killing if he goes the con route. Like if R-Truth does the conventions and starts doing photos and autographs, he's gonna make an absolute mint doing that. So, I know obviously I think Tommy Dreamer, he's booking for TNA. He said, hey, he said publicly, Truth, give me a call or message me. I know independents all over the country, if not worldwide, have probably DM'd or reached out through intermediaries. And I mean, hell, even, a AEW surprise appearance wouldn't be a huge shock to me with how beloved Ron is.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. It's going to be sad not seeing his talent and character in WWE, but at least he went out on a high note, wrestling John Cena at Saturday night's main event on John Cena's farewell tour. I don't think it gets much bigger than that for a guy in R-Truth's position of where he's at on the card.
I'd say that's definitely what he would want.
Yeah. But we did get somebody who made her debut in WWE that has probably made Jared forget all about R-Truth, leaving WWE, and that is Mariah May. Jared, tell us a little bit about Mariah May for people who don't know who she is or what she's all about. Why is this a big deal?
Mariah May, actually, I knew a long time ago from the social media game, back before she even started wrestling training, just as a fan, like doing the WWE Shop Girls and like modeling tees and stuff to try to get some exposure. Loved wrestling, started training, worked some independents in the UK, then went to Stardom, kind of made a name for herself, then signed with AEW, had an absolutely incredible AEW run. I know the two folks here on the show with me have not probably seen any of that AEW run.
No.
But it was an absolutely incredible run. She basically worked the whole time she was there, basically worked a program with Toni Storm where she came in as the understudy and like a fangirl, became like her teammate, and then ultimately betrayed her, won the title in England at Wembley last year.
Ooh.
Toni came back, played some games, and then they had an incredible match at Revolution, the Hollywood ending. So far, my favorite match of 2025.
Wow.
She won that, went out, hadn't been on TV since, and then the rumors started coming out, contracts coming up, and everyone's like, she's going to resign. And I know, as I said, because I've been a fan for so long, her dream has always been to be in WWE. This is a young talent, loves WWE. I think this is a great signing. I mean, it's a young talent, and I know WWE kind of has a plethora of young female talent, probably an overabundance. But I mean, you got to go young at some point, and I think the next several WrestleManias might be female main events. And I mean, ultimately, also like you do have a competitor, and if you can take one of their key players from their women's division, and then you can bring over to your side, I think that's a plus in your comment as well. So I'm very excited. Mariah May puts on some incredible matches, great character, great performance. And she's always had fun on social media. So I think this is a huge get for WWE. And I think people that don't know her work are going to be very impressed by the glamour.
Yeah, this is a massive move for WWE, bringing her in. People were saying that she's one of the hottest free agents on the entire wrestling scene. And for her to come to WWE, you know me, I'm always going to ride with it and run wild with it. It's a glamorous acquisition from WWE. Chris, are you familiar with Mariah May?
Not at all, but I know they debuted her last night on NXT already.
Yeah, talk about not knowing where she's going to showing up in NXT and already making her presence felt. And fellas, we got Evolve coming up next month. it would not surprise me if Mariah May was involved in Evolve somehow.
I think.
I'm sorry, Evolution.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were expecting her to debut at the weekend of Evolution. More specifically, people were expecting her to debut at the Great American Bash. And I'll get to that why in a second, because I actually think the reason she debuted last night is because, for those that don't know or haven't really paid attention, or you guys might not even know, all in AEW's big show All In is July 12th, the same day that Saturday night's main event is. So AEW a couple months ago moved All In from Saturday night to go against Saturday night's event to the afternoon. WWE has since counter-programmed that with NXT Great American Bash. So I am under the impression that WWE debuted her last night because they're going to have her face and probably, I would say, defeat JC Jane to win the NXT title during AEW's All In on pay-per-view. So I think that might be a little kind of, jab at him. So we'll see if that's how it all works, but that's what I think the moves have been made as they were.
That's not just a jab, Jared. That's a knockout blow right there.
Was she ever a champ in AEW?
Oh yeah. Her and Tony Storm thing was for the title, and she won it last year at All In last year. She won it during their big show. So
okay, I like the way you think. And yeah, I did see that press release. Man, WWE is double dipping, loading it up this month, this weekend, and next month. And we'll get to Saturday night's main event down in Atlanta, Georgia. Goldberg versus Gunther. Spoiler alert, that match is going to be happening. You heard it here first on WellsMania Podcast. And then also Great American Bash will be happening earlier in the day on that. That Saturday is going to be loaded. And I'd like to have you guys back for that prediction episode leading in to that weekend, which takes us into this weekend. We've got a loaded up Saturday out in Los Angeles, California. Worlds collide and WWE Money in the Bank. I got money in the bank. Shorty, what you drank? You guys know Little Scrappy? You know that Little Scrappy song?
Yes.
Wasn't that song in a WWE game back in the day? One of the Raw versus SmackDowns?
I'm pretty sure it was.
It might have been.
That would be the only reason I know that song.
I feel like that was there was like a load screen of that and like Undertaker last riding like Funaki or some shit like that.
Yeah, something.
I'm still bummed that we don't have Lil Scrappy as the official theme music to Money in the Bank. Instead, we've got is it Def Rebel?
Isn't it always Def Rebel?
Probably. But this
well, there's been a guy politicking to make all the music for WWE recently. Metro
Boomin
has said, "Hey, that's my dream." And Bronson Reed and JC Mateo were like, "Hey, if you want to make me a theme song, I'd be cool with it." So
I'm cool with it too, Metro Boomin. I know you watch and listen to the WellsMania podcast. We need a new.
Not every entrance song needs to be hip hop, though.
No, but that's definitely the vibe that WWE is running with right now. Is the hip hop pro wrestling crossover, and it's working. It's working because
Fiend.
You couldn't escape that song. That thing was in your head. It's still in your head.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
and timeless. But this Saturday we've got Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide.
I'm gonna go ahead and predict you have never seen a AAA show.
I never have. That's why I am really excited for this collision.
I have
with WWE.
But I couldn't tell you who worked it. I just enjoyed the wrestling.
Okay.
Now,
That's
I
fine.
am familiar with some of these names that I'm going to be throwing out there because we're going to go through the card here in no particular order, although I am saving what I think is going to be the main event, Vikingo versus Chad Gable. We'll save that for last.
That will be the main event.
So let's start, and I apologize if I missed.
This will be good.
This is literally the highlight of the show right here.
If I mispronounced any of these names, Jared's right. I have never watched AAA. Am I even saying it right? Is it AAA?
AAA is the American pronunciation. AAA.
That's how we say it, Kyle.
AAA is, I believe, how they would like it to be pronounced.
Say that one more time.
AAA.
AAA.
AAA, yeah.
AAA it is.
AAA, yeah.
We've got a 6-man tag team match here. Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Angel and Berto versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. Whoa!
There he is.
Mi hermano, Psycho Clown.
You've come prepared with props.
Oh, yeah, I brought props tonight.
Put it on.
It's not pretty tight, so I tried it once, and I was like, so.
Yeah. While Jared's putting that on, this is another reason why I'm so glad to have Jared on this episode, because he's going to be the expert here, Chris. Have you watched AAA?
I've seen a couple shows, but like I said, not enough to be like, oh yeah, I know all these guys. Like I know the top tier guys, like everybody that's on the show. Basically, I know who they are, but to say like I know the storylines and stuff, no.
Yeah. Jared, we'll start with you. Who you got winning this match?
I think because Legado has a tag title match for the AAA titles the following week, and I think a lot of this show is going to be introducing the American audience or the English speaking audience to the AAA folks, and so I believe Legado is going to win the tag match, to win this match to elevate them before they challenge for the titles. So I think that makes sense. The most sense here. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see Psycho Clown obviously on the
got his mask
on the on the WWE. I was glad to see he was one of the early guys who's kind of are making the transition or signing. I think he's going to gain a lot of fans this week. He was He was like the top baby face a couple years ago. He won Rey de Reyes. He had a feud with his. There was multiple clowns. They were called the Psycho Circus, like the Kiss CD. They had a stable and a feud going. They have a multiple clown gimmicks big in Mexico, so they had like a whole They had a whole thing.
So don't go to Mexico for me. Got it.
Yeah.
Chris
Pagano, Pagano is more of a hardcore style wrestler, more of a kind of a brawler, almost ECW-esque, I think would be the best way to explain it. He Mexico, very loose on the rules of traditional pro wrestling, something that will be interesting to see if we're under more WWE concepts or more of the AAA Lucha Libre concepts. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner. Dr. Wagner is a big name in Mexico.
It's definitely a name.
El Hijo, and that's El Hijo. That means the son of. So it's the son of one of his sons. But Dr. Wagner was a big deal. Dr. Wagner Jr. He's fought Noah as well. He's pretty good. Not, maybe my top favorite, but a name. It makes sense for WWE to definitely pull, especially with that heritage and with the library. And as you introduce these characters, having the son of Dr. Wagner helps legitimize, if you will, the WWE version of AAA we're going to get from this point forward.
I have a homework assignment for you, Jared. Since you are trying to grow your TikTok and gain more followers, the time is now to do this TikTok video. I want you to wear your psycho clown mask.
I don't know this type.
And
I don't know if you saw me struggling getting it off a minute ago, but
I just want you to, obviously just talk a little bit about who he is, put him over, and get people excited to watch him this weekend. And I think you doing it while wearing the mask will it'll either scare Chris and other people who have a fear of clowns, or people like me who are uneducated on who some of these wrestlers are. It'll be very interesting to learn and get excited to watch them maybe for the first time. Chris, who do you got winning this match? I know you and I are like throwing darts at these predictions.
Well, I'm going to go the opposite direction. I think the AAA team wins because of the turmoil going on with Phantasma right now. I think that just furthers them down that path of breaking up, them losing this match on Saturday.
That makes sense. I don't know any of these AAA wrestlers. So I'm going to go with Legado del Fantasma to get the win. They're heels. They're going to do something sneaky, something heelish, and I think they're going to cheat to win. I know it's a pretty generic answer, but that's the one I'm running with. How about a fatal four-way match for the NXT North American Championship? The champion, Ethan Page, versus Javon Evans. He's bouncy. Versus Laredo Kid versus Ray Phoenix. Jared, I am beyond impressed with Javon Evans. That kid is so much fun to watch. I'm glad that we got to see him this past
SmackDown.
Was it SmackDown last week?
Yeah.
So for people who might not watch NXT, and unfortunately I'm one of those people because I can't. I don't think any of us can here in Indianapolis.
I did CW.
You do, Jared?
Yes.
YouTube TV has it live too.
Interesting. Maybe I need to look into finding the CW network, but I do catch the highlights, and I'm really impressed with what I see with Javon Evans. Who do you like winning this match, Jared?
I think since he just won it, I think Ethan Page squeaks out a win. I think he does kind of as he famously did in his Heat Wave match where he won the NXT title. He'll have someone else kind of basically do the work, and then he'll kind of steal the victory. I assume this is going to be a Ray Phoenix showcase. He's a guy who has a lot of history in AAA. He's been mega champion, all that. Javon, high flying. He's gonna do something that goes viral, 100%. And Laredo, he's been around for a while. He also works a lot of NXT or TNA, so I'm pretty familiar with Laredo over the last couple years. But yeah, I think Ethan takes it.
What about you, Chris?
I think Ethan takes it as well, but I think this is a showcase match for the other three. Jared, have we confirmed that? Are we using a standard ring or are we using a 6-sided ring like they use in AAA now?
They haven't said, but I'm going to guess this is going to be more of a WWE production. So okay. I'm guessing for the English audience, it's going to be a standard ring. I'm guessing that when we do shows like Worlds Collide or what other collaborations in the future, if it's on this side of the border, I think it'll be the traditional 4-side. Okay. I think the AAA shows they do in Mexico that they will probably integrate WWE stars in, like their Triple Manias, their Raid Race, their big shows. Those will probably in Mexico will be more of the Mexican standard. I think they're going to kind of meet their audience instead of trying to make one transform to the other.
WWE could go WCW and just have multiple rings next to each other. We could have the ring that Chris was saying next to the WWE ring. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a cool visual, something different. That we're not gonna get that. But if we do, you heard it here first on WellsMania. You know what, fellas? I think Ethan Page is the smart choice here to retain, but I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to give it to Rey Fenix. I think Rey Fenix needs to win here and actually make an impact more than he already has. And giving him a big championship victory here, I think, is exactly where he needs to go. He lost at WrestleMania, and he lost in the last match that I watched him in. So it's like, dude needs a big win, and I don't think it gets any bigger than here at Worlds Collide in what is going to be a very entertaining match.
Yeah, but then that pulls him off the main roster.
It's okay.
I mean, it's not a backwards move by any means, but that pulls him back off the main roster.
I think the main roster will be okay. I think the main roster is a little overcrowded right now. Putting Rey Fenix down in NXT might be exactly where he needs to go to help elevate the other talent that's down there. Because I feel like he's going to get lost in the shuffle on the main roster. I mean, look at Penta. Penta keeps losing and losing and losing and losing. And I'm just like, damn, like Penta needs to get a big win, but he hasn't really gotten a big win.
Yeah,
so
well, Penta also hasn't lost clean yet either, though.
Very true, very true. But I think Rey Fenix here getting a win over all these other wrestlers on Worlds Collide would be kind of surprising. So I'm going to go with the little shock pick there.
I can see it.
But that takes us to
it's not like you took some wild pick or something crazy. I mean, that's it's definitely doable.
And like I said, a lot of these matches, I'm literally just throwing a dart and seeing where it lands. I'm throwing he threw him like a long dart.
Picking all the WWE guys
so far. But that won't be the case for the rest of I don't know. We'll see. The next match is a tag team match. We've got Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice versus Cheek Tormenta and
Dailies.
Yes.
I need you to say Stephanie's last name again.
Vaquer?
Is that right, Jared?
It's not Vaquer, but it's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was Vaquer.
Vaquer.
Vaquer is the Hoosier version of it.
That's my Vaquer.
You got that Vaquer back there?
That's my Whiteland. That's my Whiteland accent.
Sounds like an alcohol.
Right Vaquer, baby. I drink Vaquer straight
up. Commentary during their matches, it might be an alcohol.
Jared, who do you like winning this one?
I think Stephanie and Lola win this. There's a backstory they sort of hinted at NXT where Dailies was trained Stephanie early in her career, was like her mentor. So that's sort of like the kind of backstory of the match, and she's kind of stepped up to her because it's cross promotion. So yeah, I think Stephanie and Lola win. I'm gonna guess this is the first match on the show because A, they'll want to start, and B, Stephanie's working a ladder match like 3 hours later. So
double dipping.
So she's gonna have to.
It's gonna be a rough day.
So yeah, I'm thinking she's gonna work that one early. If I was gonna guess, I would assume the match is a lot of Lola getting the heat put on her and then tagging Stephanie for the more big finish to try to keep her as fresh as possible. But that's sort of my basic picks. I think
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to describe it.
You going with Stephanie Vaquer?
Yep, I'm going with Stephanie
Vaquer.
Yeah, and Lola Vice.
I agree with you guys. I think that's the smart pick, and Jared brings up a good point. Stephanie Vaquer is double dipping. She will be at Worlds Collide in this tag match, and then later she will be in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So luckily she didn't have to go very far, just from one building to the other. So
yeah.
But that takes us to another tag team match, a 6-man tag team match. There's 2 of those on this card. Latino.
Not to break up your thing, but aren't six-man tags big down in Mexico?
Yeah, trios matches are pretty big. That's a lot of the AAA shows are kind of layered with a lot of stable. Pretty much, there's a lot of stables, and then or mixed tags, and there's a lot of those. And then usually, when you get down to your title matches or your main programs, are your more singles. So yes, the card, the way it's laid out, I mean, makes a lot of sense for a Lucha Libre inspired card.
Okay.
We've got Latino World Order, Dragon Lee, and Cruz del Toro and Lince Dorado versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and probably my favorite AAA wrestler, Mr. Iguana, who I was just introduced to a couple of days ago, and I can't get enough of this dude.
Mr. Iguana is a weapon. He is a weapon.
He's a weapon.
I love this guy's character.
Yeah.
And he's got the iguana puppet, which I think is fantastic.
I honestly think this is going to be one of those guys. I think he's probably the most talked about.
This is going to get over.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the most. I would not be shocked if he's the most talked about guy coming out of Worlds Collide from the new audience.
As he should be.
I mean, the dude's got a gimmick. He's got the puppet, but WWE loves to sell merch.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So the more iguana puppets they can sell, the better.
I'll buy you an iguana puppet, Chris.
I'm going to keep my jokes to myself.
Yeah.
Jared, who do you got winning?
I don't need no damn puppet.
I think Team AAA wins this one. I think this is kind of the showcase for it. Especially with, unfortunately, Joaquin was supposed to be in the match. He got a concussion Monday, so they subbed in Lince, who has been working at the Performance Center as a trainer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had been, he was obviously with Lucha House Party a couple years ago. He got released. He came back as a trainer, player, coach for the
Lucha House Party. Oh man, I forgot all about that.
As the player, he's sort of the player, coach, trainer. They've been doing it on the NXT Live, and then he recently debuted for Evolve to help, a veteran to give guys more reps. So he's obviously was going to be there anyway. He works for the company. So I think they slid him in for Joaquin. But yeah, I think AAA wins here. Like I said, Mr. Iguana, I mean, he kind of speaks for himself. Octagon Jr. Octagon was a famous gimmick. Octagon Jr. is kind of the next version of they do a lot of the passing down of gimmicks in Lucha Libre tradition. So so that happens a lot. And then Aerostar is a wild man. He's known for kind of finding the highest place in a building and diving off of it. So
you don't
say. I don't know how big, I don't know how big the Kia Forum is.
We'll find out.
what building, but whatever the highest point is, if there's a wet or if they've got a Tron or whatever, Aerostar's
coming off of it.
Wow.
There's a great highlight. I think you guys can probably find online quickly. Triple Mania a couple years ago, I want to say 2017, where he went. Aerostar set up this ridiculous dive off the scaffolding, which was above the arena lights, and he kind of dove and then came down on everybody. It's quite the visual if you can find it. So
wow, thank God this dude is still alive.
Yeah, so he's
crazy.
Yes, he is.
Who do you got, Chris?
I'm going to take the AAA team here to take this victory. And I'm excited about this match because I haven't seen Aerostar wrestle since the Lucha Underground days.
Lucha Underground, yeah.
That's how I know him.
Yes.
And Jared's right. The dude's nuts.
Yes.
There is nothing he won't jump off.
Well, you guys got me even more hype for this match now.
I hope they let him go all out with his entrance too. Because his entrance is, he's from outer space, man. It's awesome.
Really? Is that where he's built from?
Yeah, that's why Aerostar.
Well, in the season finale of season 1 of Lucha Underground, he walks out, hits a superhero pose, and just shoots off into space.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's awesome.
And he's teaming up with Mr. Iguana. I mean, could you ask for a better trio here? but I agree with you guys. I'm going with Octagon Jr., Space Boy, Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. And I think I'm really looking forward to this match the most. But that might not be the case because I'm really looking forward to the main event. We've got
It's gonna be so good.
AAA Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo, who just became the AAA champion, which WWE spoiled.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was unfortunate.
We all knew that.
We had to get that off of Del Rio, man.
We all knew Alberto Del Jabroni was not going to be a part of this show, and but that's okay because Vikingo versus Chad Gable is going to be
so good.
A absolute banger of a match. Jared, who do you have winning this one?
I don't know if you've seen him. I know he's worked some other shows. He's worked some shows in the USA, but if you haven't seen him, Vikingo is special. He is a special talent. I think he's going to win. I think Vikingo retains the championship here, the Mega Championship. And I think he's gonna. I mean, I think a lot of people know, even not big fans of Mexico, because he's had matches both here and in the U.S. in Mexico against Kenny Omega. He's wrestled a few guys, but Vikingo keeps the title here.
Yep.
Chris, you agree?
I do.
Because I also am gonna keep the belt on the champ. I do like that it's the Mega Championship, and
like that.
If any way that we can get Mega Mondo to go up against Vikingo for the Mega Championship, that would be a match that I think a lot of people would be like, how the hell is this going to play out? Mondo is ground and pound, and Vikingo is aerial and fast. Which, by the way, those dynamics... I've wrestled guys that are a lot faster.
That match wouldn't be long at all.
No. It would go one of two ways: quick or
he'd blow you up, Ultimate Warrior style.
Long. Draw this out, pal. Let me rest over here real quick. But I'm really looking forward to this match. Do we see El Grande Americano? Will El Grande Americano make an appearance? I know he's double booked too, or he would be double. He's not double booked. What am I saying?
If he showed up, he would be on both shows.
Thank you. If he showed up, he would be double booked.
I think it'd be a good idea for WWE to do that. Put somebody in a mask, have him in the crowd. They work over to where he's at. Whoever is under the hood punches him, and then he takes off. So you don't actually see his body.
Because I'm just saying, if El Grande Americano shows up, then we could potentially get Vikingo versus El Grande Americano somewhere down the road, and I think that would be also a banger of a match.
There could be a prediction later on about that scenario. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm over that gimmick.
Come on, Chris.
Why do you hate Lucha Libre history?
Because it's just dumb. Don't insult my intelligence, okay? It's the same thing as Mr. America with Hogan.
Right.
Wait, Mr. America was Hulk Hogan?
Stop it.
Next, you're going to tell me that Juan Cena was John Cena. I'm not believing anything, Chris. These people are not the same, okay?
He has the same Olympic tattoo on his neck.
A lot of people have the same tattoo.
Yeah, it's called paying homage.
Not that one. Not that one.
You know how many Olympians have Olympic rings? Come on. Like all of them.
Chris, come on now.
Well, if WWE would have made him an Olympic champion as part of his story, you might have reeled me in a little.
Maybe he is, and we just don't know that yet. Who knows?
We don't know who's behind the mask.
We do not.
Just like Gable's goofy ass lost his Americano boots and had to wear his Chad Gable boots Monday night.
Chad Gable
there was a flight delay.
Yeah, he let El Grande Americano borrow his boots. Okay.
Well, Americano was gonna borrow Chelsea Green's knee highs, but those didn't fit. So he had to go with the other CG, and it was Chad Gable. So I mean,
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Comment.
You're right. You're right, Jared.
Yeah.
That takes us to later in the night. Money in the Bank. I plan on going on TikTok live for Worlds Collide. So if anybody wants to do a watch along with me, I am planning on having a very active day on TikTok live, doing the Worlds Collide, eating, taking a breather, and then diving right into Money in the Bank. And there's only 4 matches so far on the card, and in no particular order, but we're going to start here. This is a last chance match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental title. If Becky Lynch loses, she can no longer challenge for the title for as long as Valkyria is champion. If Valkyria loses, she will be forced to raise Lynch's hand and acknowledge Lynch as the better woman. So we've got Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. What's happening here, Jared?
I think this is the kind of classic story of a veteran, finds someone who inspired them. Girl meets her hero. The hero doesn't live up to the belief Lyra had in her or disappoint her in some way. The hero thinks, I'm your hero, I can beat you. Kind of underestimated her and then gets to get back in the end. I think Becky wins. I think Becky becomes the second Women's Intercontinental Champion. I think after the match, she does make Lyra raise her hand. I bet that she then attacks Lyra still, and Bayley comes out, and then we set up Becky Bayley at Evolution for the Intercontinental Championship.
Can you read my mind?
No.
Chris, why you say no?
These belts were not designed to be held by Becky Lynch, Bayley, or Charlotte. It's not what these belts are for. Those 3 women should never touch these titles.
Got to build them up.
That's, God forbid you actually use a young talent to build up a brand new belt.
Lyra.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it on her.
Lyra, and now Becky's
up.
got to build that prestige because they're like, oh, nobody could beat her until it was Becky, like the certified Hall of Famer, WrestleMania main eventer. She beats her, and then the title elevates with her.
No, it does not. It gets tarnished by Becky Hogan.
I thought Peyton was in Florida.
No.
He's channeled his Becky Hoganisms to you, Chris.
No, I've always thought none of those 3 women should touch the IC or the US title.
Peyton disagrees with you. I do have Peyton's Money in the Bank picks here. He's got Becky Lynch beating Lyra, as do I. You're the lone wolf here, Chris. I agree with...
I bet Peyton wasn't happy making that pick.
Probably not. But I've got Becky Lynch winning for the reasons that Jared said. It's literally like he went into my Hoosier Dome and literally threw my prediction out there. I think Becky wins and then attacks Lyra while Lyra is holding Becky's hand up, and then Becky beats the hell out of Lyra, and then Bayley, who is probably due to come back. I think she is cleared to come back. She makes the save. And Becky versus Bayley for the Women's Intercontinental title at Evolution.
So then what do you do with Valkyria? Thanks for your help, kid. Take a shit.
She'll be in the background. Then she'll go after the winner.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Back.
So she does all the work. She don't get to work Evolution.
No. She'll be there. She'll win like the Battle Royal or some such.
Doing what?
The Battle Royal. We gotta have people.
Lyra Valkyria will be fine in defeat, but I think that because honestly, I had Becky Lynch beating Lyra to become the Women's Intercontinental Champion, and that didn't happen. But I do think it's going to happen here. It has to happen here.
I think to Chris's point that was to help level Lyra up.
Yes,
she kind of got over in NXT. She was over in NXT in the smaller crowd. The theme song and the chant, the woo, the bird chants or the woo or whatever you call that with her theme, kind of carried over to the main roster. But there is some people have a transition period on the main roster. She kind of hit, and then she had that sort of hey, I'm established, but not totally established. And then they were flipping damage control and all that from heel to face and injury. So the getting her up there took a while. They used the women's tournament to do that, gave her the title to kind of help. Like, hey, she's a player, keep defending. The WrestleMania tag where she beats Liv and Raquel, Becky comes back, levels up again. The Becky turn levels, beat her in the, one of the first match of the feud. Now the feud progresses, and then you become a piece. And then I know you don't like it, but when you become in that, I want to say 4 horsewomen realm that still kind of overlay everything. Once you get in there, you're kind of mixed as a top player. So from there, she can do stories with Liv and stories with the other. And then
she can do that now without losing to Becky.
And then she'll need go after Io or whoever's the women's champion. So it's just how they do things. I mean, for lack of a better term, I think that's the route she's going to go.
And I think Lyra's had a very successful inaugural run with the women's intercontinental title. And I think her dropping it to Becky will not hurt Lyra. It might in Chris's eyes, but I think this will be a learning lesson for Lyra to improve and do better and then get her revenge somewhere down the road. Let's jump into the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Since we're talking about the women's division, we've got a pretty stacked women's Money in the Bank ladder match here. We've got Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley versus Julia versus Naomi versus Stephanie Vaquer. I am going to call her Stephanie Vaquer then, now, and forever. It's just, my wife calls me out on me saying words differently than she does. So here's another one that gets added to the list. Stephanie Vaquer, who, as we just mentioned not too long ago, is going to be successful in Worlds Collide in the tag team match. Will she be successful in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match? Jared.
I don't think she will. I've gone back and forth on this match a couple times since Monday. I think this is Naomi. I think this is this is Naomi's moment to kind of strike. We've got the new, I know it's been around a couple months, but the newer characters still. We kind of had the turn, and then the new character, we kind of debuted the new music and kind of started to flesh out the character a little more at Mania and past that. But Mania, you're kind of not really blowing off the Jade feud, but putting a kind of a button on sort of, you want Jade to look good at WrestleMania and kind of get her revenge. I think this is Naomi's time, but great field, probably the match of the night. I'll go ahead and say, with the lineup, I think you're going to see some things you don't expect from the women in this ladder match because the style some of them compete at or have in the past. Naomi for me.
What about you, Chris?
I agree. I had Naomi winning as well for kind of the same reasons. The match with her and Jade at Mania was more of, like he said, the button on it, but it was a button on the first chapter of a story that's going to keep going. And I think at some point you end up getting a triple threat between all three of them being Bianca, Jade, and Naomi to keep putting that thing forward.
Peyton also has Naomi winning the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and guess what?
He thought with the head on his shoulders. Good job.
He did. I agree with you both and Peyton. I also have Naomi winning the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and I have already put this out there on my social media. She's going to wrap that caution tape all over the briefcase. That is going to be the visual WWE shop. They've already got it made. They're just waiting for Saturday to come and go. And then bam, Saturday night, you can go to WWEshop.com right now and get your caution tape Naomi Money in the Bank briefcase. Yeah. That is what is going to be happening. It's all about marketing. Sometimes when I'm in a pickle with my predictions, I think whose merch would thrive and sell the most if they were to win? And in this case, Naomi absolutely trumps everybody else's in this match. But I do like the dynamic of all these women. I think Jared might be onto something here. This could be the match of the night. I know there's only 4 matches as of recording episode 178, but this one's going to be entertaining. So I'm really looking forward to this Money in the Bank ladder match for the women. Let's go right into the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men. We've got Solo Sikoa versus Chris. Get ready. LA Knight. Yeah. Versus Penta versus Seth Rollins versus Andrade versus El Grande Americano. A lot of people have been voicing their frustration that Karrion Kross is not in this match. First of all, fellas, what are your thoughts on Karrion Kross right now?
Chris, you want to go or you want it?
You can go ahead.
Karrion Kross is in an interesting position. He has built a groundswell, via social media and the things he's doing. He's getting interest. He's getting some buzz. But he hasn't been able or crafted to really show anything in the ring since this basically all year. He's had the match against AJ. I know he's been working main event. He's been working for some of those, but not many people watch those. Trying to be honest, not many people are putting the main event in their weekly schedule with 7+ hours of WWE and then whatever else you want to watch. So yeah. So it's interesting. So I get people's frustration, but I guess from a television time story point, I don't think it would have made a ton of sense to just put Karrion in this match kind of cold and then him win, because then I think you would have been in a I love the guy, but you'd be kind of like when they gave the briefcase to Sandow. And I don't think you would really necessarily buy him winning the title the way his current angle has been instructed.
Great looking briefcase, by the way, when Damian Sandow won.
Yes. Yeah, the leather bound.
Yes. So
very fancy.
I definitely get his frustration. I know Karrion is in a contract year, and obviously we've seen recently this in the last 7 days that has been an important factor. I don't know. I'm not saying there's a factor of why he's not been used recently compared to R-Truth and Carlito that were used up to that time. I'm guessing Karrion is going to work a match with Sami Zayn at Night of Champions. That's my educated guess, because they've been building that feud for a while, and it's Saudi, and you got to think Sammy's going to have a big showcase there, because he has the last several Saudi shows. So a Karrion singles match would kind of put Karrion in a good spot, I think, versus Sammy. But it's certainly interesting, and I believe there had been talks about Karrion coming on this show at some point before his book comes out later this fall. So I know some things have to get coordinated and worked out, but I believe we have a message that says I would love to come on the show and speak with you guys. So, let's say more to follow with that whole situation.
Yeah. Tick tock. The invite is always open for Karrion Kross to come on. He's a very busy man. So whenever he can give us his time, and it doesn't even have to be a lot of time, just any time would be great. But yeah, Karrion Kross is more than welcome to come run wild on WellsMania Podcast and just shoot the shit with us, promote his book, talk about really anything that he wants to talk about and get off his chest, off his brain. We would be more than excited to have you, Karrion Kross. So yeah, tick tock. And justice for Kross. We've been seeing it on social media. Karrion Kross is very interactive. And when you're very interactive with the fans, you become a fan favorite. And I feel like the fans are really rallying behind Karrion Kross. And when the fans are really rallying behind a wrestler, they want to see the payoff. They want to see that wrestler then get the opportunity to finally showcase what we've all been seeing, that maybe TKO and Triple H kind of aren't ready to pull the trigger with Karrion Kross just yet. But I do think that big things are coming for Karrion Kross. Now, getting back to this men's Money in the Bank ladder match, who do you guys have winning that briefcase? Jared, we'll start with you.
I know a lot of people said after Monday, when Raw ended, or I saw on my algorithm, a lot of people said, "Oh, just give the briefcase to Seth right now. Seth's the only guy who should win this."
Was that Dion? Was that
I
Dion
saw a lot,
Freeman?
I've seen several. He was one of several people that have said as such.
Dion and all his burner accounts.
I don't think Seth is clearly winning this. I think Seth has a big problem come Saturday night. One big problem come Saturday night.
Are you saying that you're going to acknowledge somebody?
I think there may be some acknowledgement, because Michael Cole ended Raw with, "Who can stop Seth Rollins?" That was the closing line of Raw.
Yeah.
And
heard that loud and clear.
I think there might be
a big dog on the line there
who might be able to slow that Seth train down. So let's just walk with me here while we go through some of these people. What if, because there's a rumor that maybe some higher ups in WWE who don't like to play the game of Money in the Bank, has been a rumor recently, they aren't a big fan of the whole concept of the briefcase and all that. So what if El Grande Americano wins the briefcase?
Oh boy.
And then El Grande Americano cashes in at Triple Mania in Mexico. What if? Because
I'll break my TV.
Because you can challenge any champion, so they don't have to necessarily do it on WWE TV. They can do it at a show in Mexico, generate gigantic heat, and El Grande can win the title through the Money in the Bank cash in, which I think would be the first international cash. So it's just walk with me. But that's not my pick. I'm picking.
You know, Jared.
Yes,
normally I like to listen and to hear what you say. Right
me.
now, I gotta tell you, your opinion ain't worth a velvet painting of a whale and a dolphin getting it off. That is a terrible thought.
Wait, what the hell? What the hell did you just say?
Yeah, you heard what I said. I said what I said, and I meant
a velvet painting of a dolphin
of a whale and a dolphin getting it on.
I've never seen that before. I might have to Google that later.
I'm pretty sure AI Gronk can do that for you.
You know what? I think I'm going to ask Grok to make me that, and then I'm going to tag you guys on it on Twitter.
But my prediction is Solo Sikoa. I think Solo wins the briefcase, because that puts another level on the him and Jacob story, and then at some point, then everyone kind of knows, and you can have like, hey, when's he going to betray Jacob and cash in on for the United States title? And you can that's what I'm thinking. Solo gets the briefcase and then eventually does the turn on Jacob and cashes in to win the United States title.
Peyton also agrees with you. He has Solo Sikoa winning.
Of course he does. He loves him some Swaggy P.
He does.
Swaggy Solo.
Chris, what do you think about Jared's takes over there?
Dynamite.
No, you don't. The Money in the Bank isn't made for mid cards.
Oh, who else didn't Theory cash in on? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that history? Is that facts?
And it's stupid when he did
You
it
can
then.
challenge any champion. Michael Cole said on Joe Test said on SmackDown, you can challenge any champion any time. He didn't say the world champion. He said any champion anytime.
Any champion.
Yeah. We all know that would be a waste of the briefcase.
Okay.
No, your winner is obviously going to be LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the pick. That's the only pick.
You know what, Chris? I actually agree with you. LA Knight is my
It's
pick.
his town.
It is, man. We got LA, Los Angeles. We've got LA Knight in an LA Knight or on an LA Knight winning.
That's right.
The Money in the Bank briefcase. And Bree, LA Knight girl, who is friend of the WellsMania podcast, she will definitely back us up with the pick of LA Knight retrieving that briefcase because, and I've said this for a while now, ever since LA Knight has now gotten out of the mid-card picture with the United States title, he needs to be rocketed into the world title scene because
he doesn't have to have a successful cash in. I'm not saying that.
He needs
to win the briefcase.
But if he wins, which I think he will, this will be the step in the right direction for LA Knight. Yeah, because LA Knight was the most over wrestler heading in to 2024. He was on his way to being the top guy in the company until
the megastar.
Yeah, the megastar until the final boss decided to show up for once and totally killed LA Knight's momentum and totally put LA Knight's vibe to the side. Well, guess what? The final boss ain't coming back anytime soon. And I love you, DJ. I love you. I support you. But, dude, what the hell?
I'm starting to like him less and less.
Yeah, man. I get it. It actually makes sense, though, because John Cena has been laying it out there. He has told us that he is going to ruin wrestling. And by The Rock not showing up, that is ruining wrestling. So for all those people out there wondering why the hell is The Rock not coming back, it's because you want him to come back, but it doesn't matter what you want because it matters what Dwayne wants to do. And since John has already said right in front of our faces that I am here to ruin wrestling, he's literally laying out the game plan for everybody. It's literally right there. But sometimes you can't see it. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to remind you of what the hell is going on out here. But yeah, Chris, I agree with you, man. I've got LA Knight, winning the Money.
What are you doing, Jared? What is that?
He's doing the Samoan
Spike. Are you RVDing over there? What are we doing?
LA Knight's gonna reach up for the briefcase and then he's gonna spiked right in the throat.
I hope not.
And Solo's gonna grab the case.
If Solo wins, it's going to be because Jeff Cobb pushes him up the ladder.
Whoa. Who? What did you just say?
Stop it.
That's JC.
I refuse the Mateo shit.
That's JC Mateo, bro.
Okay, let's talk about it for a second with this JC Mateo business.
Yes.
Let me talk to you.
You can't give somebody a Hispanic name and then have their finishing move called the Tour of the Islands, making him trying to sound Samoan or Hawaiian. You gotta pick.
I guess I can kind of see
what
where
is
you're
this.
coming from.
What are you gonna tell me? His mom's Hawaiian and his dad's Hispanic? Come on, man.
Let me go see what that, because I think
he did used to wear a mask.
Let me see
back
what
in
his
Lucha Underground. I get it.
Let me see what his nationality is.
He's from Guam.
JC Mateo.
Guam.
Where even is Guam?
It's a territory. It's an island.
Don't ask me.
It's an island.
It's in Micronesia. Do you know where Micronesia is? I don't have a map. I don't have a globe in front of me.
I don't know where these places.
I brought a Psycho Clown mask. I didn't bring a globe. I didn't know we were doing geography today.
How close is that to Mexico or Hawaii?
Well, I'm just saying his name's Mateo now. Just deal with it.
Just
call him JC. Well, just call him JC. Will that feel better?
He was born in Honolulu, Hawaii. He's built from Honolulu, Hawaii. I don't know what nationality Mateo is, but
bet if you look it up, it's Hispanic.
His name is JC Mateo, and since I'm on the Google machine, we'll do that. What nationality is? Oh my gosh, I'm typing with one hand here. Is Mateo? Okay, the nationality of Mateo depends on the individual in question. Mateo is a common first name in Spanish-speaking and Italian-speaking countries. So
that's a wide range, isn't it?
I don't know if that answers what we're looking for here, but
almost made it worse.
Mateo is a name of Spanish origin, meaning gift of God. So JC
Jeff Cobb is the
gift of God. JC, isn't that Jesus Christ? Is that what JC Mateo stands for? Jesus Christ Mateo?
And they also had a belt, Lucha Underground, called Gift of the Gods.
Jeff Cobb Mateo. I think that's what JC stands for. I don't know. We've gone off the track.
How about just go on a 5-minute rant about his name? How did we get there?
We need to get back on. We need to get back on the tracks.
This is what happens when Peyton's not here.
No. This is what happens when entertainment unfolds, because we don't have somebody like Peyton who's bitching and complaining on the other end. This is WellsMania Podcast, where we can free flow and talk about whatever comes to the top of our Hoosier Dome, and we run wild with it. So that's why I like having you guys on here, because I'm not having somebody over there who doesn't want to be on the podcast to begin with, bitching and complaining. Oh, we're over the hour and a half mark. I got to go eat dinner with my mom and dad. Okay, pal, whatever. You don't have to come on the show. It's a choice. You can go, on your little TikTok live or whatever. But anyways, that takes us to the main event in my eyes of Money in the Bank, which more than likely it will be the main event. I don't see how it's not.
It has to be.
But we've got Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus my all-time favorite tag team in pro wrestling history, John Cena and Logan Paul. You talk about a dream team. The prime time is now. John Cena and Logan Paul are winning this match, and I don't care what either of you or Peyton's little candy ass has to say about it, but because I love you guys, I will hear you out. So, Jared, who do you have winning this match?
I actually do agree. I think John Cena and Logan Paul do win this match.
I love you, brother.
I think does anyone else think we're getting Travis Scott here?
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's in LA. He made the appearance originally on the Netflix show with Jey Uso, ironically enough. And now he's been with Cena. So I just kind of a lot of stars align. I think somehow, some way, most likely Logan pins Jey to set up a rematch in Saudi. And I think we probably get Travis Scott, and I assume somehow, some way, Jay's gonna be wounded to make him going into the Gunther match on Monday more odds stacked against him. But I think Cena, Logan win, Jay banged up going into Monday, And then maybe on the post show, they just say whoever wins faces Logan at Night of Champions for the World Championship, since he would have just pinned the World Champion. That's, I think, about as much as I have on this match, honestly. I think it's going to be interesting how it's laid out. That's why I think maybe we get like Travis Scott, because I think it's just we're trying to get as many pieces and outside pub we can for this match. So,
you know, this would be an ideal place for The Rock to show up, but we all know that that's not going to happen, even though The Rock, I think, is out in Hollywood, out in California, filming a movie. But yeah, Travis Scott, you're right, Jared. He more than likely will be here. And Chris is excited because old Cody Rhodes has a receipt for Travis Scott. And
he does.
Chris,
that's going to be rough.
If Travis Scott does show up, will Cody give him that receipt?
Absolutely. The next time they're in the ring together, Travis is going to realize that, hey, it's coming. He knows. He's going to catch a potato right to the mouth.
He's going to realize that wrestling is real, quick.
Yeah, it's ironic he has a shirt that says that. And he's going to find out quick, fast, and in a hurry, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, because Cody has not forgotten, and I think he's just been patiently waiting for the opportunity to give Travis that receipt.
Absolutely.
Who do you have winning this match, Chris?
No, I'm not dumb. I got Cena and your boss.
That's why I love you as well.
And in the finish that Jared said, it's going to end around being exactly that. There might be a few tweaks here or there, but that's going to be how it ends.
Yeah. Peyton's little bitch ass has Cody and Jey Uso winning. He says that Logan eats the pin. Peyton, he doesn't listen. Peyton does not listen to WellsMania Podcast, so I can literally say whatever I want about him to him, and he just doesn't listen. He's kind of like The Rock. He shows up when he wants to. But I agree with both of you guys. I've got John Cena and Logan Paul. John Cena, my all-time favorite wrestler, teaming up with my boss, my literal boss, who I'm number one in the company. So Logan, just saying, bro, one of these days, you and I, you got to meet your hardest working employee in the company, WellsMania. But yeah, Logan Paul and John Cena are winning this match. And speaking of Jey Uso versus Gunther, that is where Goldberg is going to cost Gunther that match, thus setting up Gunther versus Goldberg at Saturday night's main event down in Atlanta, Georgia. As far as Night of Champions goes, I do like the concept of Jey versus Logan at Night of Champions, but do you go ahead and pull the trigger and have Logan win the title there in Saudi Arabia?
No.
Yep.
No.
I would.
No.
100%.
I kind of feel like that has to be the move, because
I will swing my crutch around and break anything it touches.
Logan can't lose again to Jey. He's got to win.
No.
I'm sorry. I think so.
No.
And you know me, I'm biased as hell.
Whoa. What if?
We love what ifs.
What if Logan wins? LA Knight says I'm cashing in at SummerSlam.
Hey, we get a rematch of LA Knight.
That's for this time for the world title. LA Knight then beats Logan Paul to win the world title at SummerSlam. But the only way LA Knight wins is if he beats Logan Paul.
That's going to make Chris feel a little bit better.
No, I will give up an LA Knight title run as long as Logan never touches the title.
I think he's winning the title, personally. At some point, and I say, why? If not now, why not? That's my personal opinion.
That's fucking terrible.
Hey, I'm all for Logan Paul winning the world heavyweight title. And that
polish in his peacemaker and be a real person for a minute. You don't like him that much.
That was a great line by Cody Rhodes.
That was one of the top lines ever. That was fantastic.
I will give Cody Rhodes props where props need to be given. That was a pretty phenomenal line there. I do like Logan Paul, though. I know he's my boss, and I know I'm loyal to the Prime Hydration and Prime Energy brand. However, I do enjoy Logan Paul. I've said this time and time again. He is exactly what you want a WWE superstar to be. He's beyond talented on the mic. He can cut a promo. He is beyond athletic and talented in the ring. The dude has gone above and beyond, proving time and time again that he does deserve and belongs in a pro wrestling ring. He's a worldwide just mega star out here. Everybody knows who Logan Paul is. So Logan Paul is getting
good.
reach.
Stay out there.
He's getting draw. He's over, and he's a natural heel. He's got that heat that he doesn't even have to really do anything. And man,
because he's a piece of shit.
But that's exactly what you want him to be, and that gives
not in real life.
But in the WWE,
the Miz isn't a jack off in real life.
But we're talking.
And he's one of the greatest heels ever.
We're talking about inside the squared circle. I mean, Logan Paul is everything that you want a WWE superstar to be. And if you
you gotta, to be a champ, you gotta have both in and out of the ring. And he's not around enough to be a real moneymaker as champion.
I think he would be. If Logan Paul was told by Triple H, hey, kid, we're putting the title on you, but the only reason, or the one of the main reasons why we're going to need you to actually be around. Can you commit to this?
No, he can't.
And then Logan will say, fuck yeah, I'll be there. I'll go on a little heater for the summer of Logan Paul. Absolutely. Because
he
Logan
won't
Paul,
do it.
He's got all the time in the world to do it. And especially, and I know because I'm
have you watched his show? That little dumbass show he's got on HBO Max?
You got to remember it's a show. So he's putting on a show and he's getting people to watch that show. You're watching it. That's my point. My point exactly.
Because I wanted him to make me like him. I thought maybe this show would make me like him. No, hate him just as much as I did before.
He doesn't want you to like him. He wants you to hate him. He is doing exactly what he needs to do, and he wants you to not like him. So he's purposely doing things that he knows is going to piss people off. And I really do think that if he does win the title later this month at Night of Champions, he will go on a summer run and end up probably dropping it at SummerSlam. And I think Jared's scenario there of LA Knight cashing in on Logan Paul, that would be a really great spot to take guys like you, Chris, to want to see Logan Paul fall so hard and have LA Knight climb so high and finally grab that brass ring that has eluded him since he's been in WWE and finally becoming a world champion. Yeah. That payoff's gotta be sweet for you, man. Watching Logan Paul get his ass kicked in New Jersey and watching LA Knight be the one to do it. That still doesn't do anything for you?
No, because why would they have LA Knight beat Logan Paul? Because they had a match last year at SummerSlam?
He would be the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. So he would cash in on Logan Paul.
What do you do with Knight from there?
Makes sense. You let LA Knight go on one hell of a run that he will go on. When he becomes the world champ, the crowd will be so behind him, even more than they are now. And it'll lead to great matches for LA Knight against whoever they put up against him for the rest of 2025. Yeah. But those are our Money in the Bank predictions. And I love when we go off on these little tangents, so to speak, these little fantasy bookings or what ifs, as Jared put out there, but it gets me excited. And I'm really excited for this weekend. Worlds collide, followed by Money in the Bank. And like I said, I'll be on TikTok live doing a watch along. So anybody who wants to watch along with me, feel free to jump in there and let's have some fun. It's going to be a very loaded Saturday. What are your guys' plans for Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank? You guys got any fun activities lined up?
Sitting on the couch.
Hey, that's a lot of fun. You're comfy.
That's all I can do, man.
I say, but you can't really do much because you're not walking how you want
not
to be
very
yet.
mobile.
But you will be.
So
you will be here soon.
We'll probably order some pizza and watch it on the TV.
I was thinking about getting Wingstop. Oh, I love Wingstop.
There you go.
What about you, Jared?
No real big plans. I've got a open house to go to before Worlds Collide, so I'll probably go to the open house, then get home for Worlds Collide, eat some dinner in that hour between. Don't know what I'm having yet.
It's a quick turnaround.
I have that hour there between the two shows, and then probably gonna drop some reactions. I don't know if it's gonna be per match or after each show. Some sort of reaction on TikTok at least, because to try to get some more content out there.
And you're going to put out your Psycho Clown TikTok. That's coming. That's coming soon, I hope.
And probably tomorrow, if I was going to guess.
And I will repost it. I will help you get it out there. TikTok's been great, man. I've been getting a lot of love. I've been getting a lot of feedback. People are really grabbing on to the rocket that is WellsMania. And you guys have been a part of it literally pretty much since the beginning. And it's just nice that it's finally starting to get more attention on it, because and it's not just me. Anybody who ever comes on WellsMania Podcast plays a major role in launching the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world into the world. Just like Glitch from the United Kingdom. He said that once this episode is uploaded and running wild on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, he's going to share it over in the United Kingdom and get WellsMania more internationally known on the microphone. So yeah, I am very excited for the growth and the continued success. And I'm very thankful for you guys being a part of it. And like I say, when I go to the top, we all go to the top. I don't forget anybody who helped me get to where I am going. Unlike other content creators who gatekeep and couldn't care less, I am not one of them. So I do appreciate everybody for taking the time to run wild with WellsMania Podcast. And before we go, fellas, is there anything else that you guys want to? We're coming up almost on 2 hours. I did say that moving forward, I try to keep the episodes under an hour.
We had 2 shows to discuss.
But yeah, this episode.
And you like to talk too much for an hour. Come on, man.
Yeah, I surprisingly, last episode, I think the episode clocked in at under 45 minutes.
Well, it was just you by yourself. It was just you talking to your brain, which could be scary most of the time.
I could have gone on, though, because when I talk, I don't just talk to you guys, but I'm also talking to you. Yes, you right now. I'm talking to you. And there are a lot of yous out there that tune in to WellsMania Podcast. So I try to make it as personable and interactive as possible. Now, we will eventually be going to live episodes. But as of right now, all of my money is going to the John Cena farewell tour merch. And I was just telling Jared this earlier before you jumped on, Chris. I'm still waiting for my Tampa shirt to arrive. I'm still waiting for my Knoxville shirt to arrive. I'm still waiting for my Bakersfield, which that hasn't even happened yet, but I've already ordered the shirt. And the only shirts that I have yet to order are the Money in the Bank, the Los Angeles shirt, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Phoenix Suns, which just dropped earlier today.
That
So
Suns one is sweet.
yeah, that Suns one is, I love purple. Purple's my favorite color. And I knew that when Cena was going to Phoenix, I knew we were going to get the Phoenix Suns colors. So shout out to Charles Barkley, Thunder Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, and those legendary 1990s Phoenix Suns teams. Shout out to Michael Stearman, my boy Money Mike. He loves him some Phoenix Suns. So, and you guys know Stearman. He's a big Suns fan. But yeah, fellas, plug your social medias, and then we will all go home for dinner.
At JC Giles on Twitter.
At JC Mateo?
Well, sort of. At JC Giles on X, Twitter, whatever you call Elon's app nowadays. And WWE Human Encyclopedia on TikToks, which apparently we call Talks, I heard 2 hours ago. So I didn't know that was a thing, but
yeah.
Talks earlier. So TikTok, like I said, I'll probably do a lot more live reactions and stuff. Try to build that following.
You should, man. And like I said, I'll help you out as much as I can. And that goes for you too, Chris. Anything that I know that you're still trying to grow your TikTok as well, but you're not much of a TikTok uploader. You're more of a supporter and observer.
Yeah, well, it would have been me sitting on the couch with the same shit behind me. So there before I was going live all the time and doing all that. But once I can get back up and actually get back down to the basement, down to my area where I like to go live at, I'll start doing that again. My TikTok is at 5 Foot Giant.
Yeah, and he really is a 5 foot giant. Those who haven't met Chris in person, he's a 5 foot giant, it's
a spectacle.
It is a spectacle, and I love it. I love every foot of it. Well, fellas, thank you so much for taking the time to run wild with me on this episode. You know what? I want to get you guys back on for Night of Champions. So go ahead and clear out that Wednesday heading into Night of Champions. And maybe, just maybe, he's no longer the world's greatest co-host. I'm no longer calling him that. I'm just going to call him a co-host, Peyton Payne. But yeah, we look forward to having Peyton back. I know I bust his balls a lot. I do like the kid. I know a lot of people are like, damn, how do you guys get along? You're always going at it. Showtime, baby. Show business. That's what we do. I'm the ultimate face, the ultimate mega baby face, and he is the perfect heel. He's a great counter to my face. He's a great heel. That's why our dynamic works so well. So we do, I guess we look forward to having Peyton back running wild on WellsMania Podcast. But thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Go buy the merch. Seriously, every time that you buy WellsMania merch, I take that money and I go on WWE Shop and I buy the John Cena Farewell Tour merch. So it's a revolving door of wrestlers supporting wrestlers, fans supporting fans. So, and yes, I do get a kickback. Every time you guys buy merch, I do get a percentage of that back. So it does literally support me. And I can't thank you enough for even caring enough to want to buy my merch. BrainbusterTees.com. Follow me all over everywhere at WellsMania, all across the social medias, on the talk, on the gram, on the book, and on the Musk. The Musk? I don't know. Yeah, the Musk. But thank you all so much. Until next episode, take care. Stay positive. Run wild. And